our app has one other small superpower. If for some reason you're not happy with your Ponka image, I'm not even sure how that would be possible, you can delete it. When you click that button, it sends an AJAX request that hits this delete action. And that really does two things. First, Photo Manager Arrow Delete Image takes care of physically deleting the image from the file system. I added a sleep for dramatic effect, but deleting something from the file system could be a bit heavy if the files were stored in the cloud, like on S3. And second, the controller deletes the image post from the database. But thinking about these two steps, the only thing we need to do immediately is delete the image from the database. If we only did that and the user refreshed the page, it would be gone. And then, if we deleted the actual file a few seconds or minutes or even days later, that would be totally fine. But more on doing fancy asynchronous stuff in a few minutes. Right now, let's refactor all this deleting logic into the command bus pattern we just learned. First, we need the message or command class. Let's copy add Ponka to image, paste, and call it deleteImagePost.php. Update the class name, and then, do nothing. Coincidentally, this message class will look exactly the same. The handler will need to know which image post to delete. Time for step 2, the handler. Create a new PHP class and call it deleteImagePostHandler. Like before, give this a public function __ invoke with a deleteImagePost type hint as the only argument. Now, it's the same process as before. Copy the first 3 lines of the controller, delete them, and paste them into the handler. This time, we need 2 services. Add public function __ construct with photo file manager, photo manager, and entity manager interface, entity manager. I'll hit Alt-Enter and click Initialize Fields to create both of those properties and set them. Down here, use this arrow photo manager, this arrow entity manager, and one more this arrow entity manager. And like before, we need to know which image post we're deleting. Prep that with image post equals delete image post arrow get image post. Ding! That's my it's done sound, because we have a message, a handler, and Symfony should know that they're linked together. The last step is to send the message in the controller. We don't need these last 2 arguments anymore. We only need message bus interface, message bus. And then, this is wonderful. Our entire controller is message bus arrow dispatch new delete image post, image post. Pretty cool, right? Let's see if it all works. Move over, click the X, and it didn't disappear. And it looks like it was a 500 error. Through the power of the profiler, we can click that little link to jump straight to a big, beautiful HTML version of that exception. Interesting. No handler for message, app message, delete image post. That's interesting. Before we figure out what went wrong, I want to mention one thing. In a command bus, each message normally has exactly 1 handler, not 2 and not 0. And that's why Messenger gives us a helpful error if it can't find that handler. We'll talk more about this later and bend these rules when we talk about event buses. Anyways, why does Messenger think that delete image post doesn't have a handler? Can't it see the delete image post handler class? Find your terminal and run bin console debug :messenger. Whoa! It only sees our 1 handler class. What this command really does is this. It finds all the handler classes in the system, then prints the message that it handles next to it. So this confirms that, for some reason, Messenger doesn't see our handler. And you may have spotted my mistake. To find all the handlers, Symfony looks in the source directory for classes that implement message handler interface. And I forgot that part. Add implements message handler interface. Run debug messenger again. Now it sees it. Let's try it again. Close up the profiler, try hitting X, and this time it works. Status report. We have 2 messages and each has a handler that's potentially doing some pretty heavy work, like image manipulation or talking across a network if files are stored in the cloud. It's time to talk about transports, the key concept behind taking this work and doing it asynchronously so that our users don't have to wait for all that heavy work to finish before getting a response.